the intendant, the mirror universe, all of a sudden, there were, well, the scene where I kissed Jadzia, first of all, on TV, kisses between two women, almost never. At that time, it was rare. And I remember coming on the set, and suddenly it was like, oh my God, I can't get through. What's going on? What's going on? There were men from all these different sets, from different shows. It was like, what? I can't imagine. And I got up there and I went, oh my God, they're here because of the kiss. They all want to see this. So it was, I got a different kind of attention when I was the intendant. The tough part was the costume. The costume was made out of rubber. Hot, hot. They had one of those giant fans, you know, it's like that. They would turn that on, and that's where I had to stay in between takes, like this. Because it would mark, the sweat would mark, and it would be 100 degrees outside, and I would be dripping with sweat. So, of course, the intendant isn't going to sweat. So there I was. And the headpiece was not, you know, I thought it would be soft or something that actually, no, it was something they just made out of it was almost like cement. So it was one piece, and when I got kissed, and I got kissed as the intendant a lot by just about everybody on the show. And they would put their hands here, and my crown, or whatever it was, the headpiece would go, whoo. So it was a problem. They had to know where to touch me, where not to touch me. Everything had to be looped. I had to add my voice later in production. Because my suit, being rubber, every move I made, so anything I did, and I moved my arms a lot, I had to add my voice. So that was tough too. And the scene where I was the intendant and Kira together, that took one scene. Was 12 hours. It was the hardest scene I have ever done. The technology at that point, it wasn't what it is today. So I had to fit myself into various, if I moved my hand like this, as Kira, I had to remember that move each time that it was exactly here on my body. Everything was very, very specific. Hard to act that way. So, did I like having slaves? Yes. Yeah, I did. I liked that. That part was fun. It was fun. I was worried always that I was going to cross over the line and make her ridiculous. I didn't want to do that because she was nasty. I didn't want her to become ridiculous and therefore not scary. But she was fun. She was a lot of fun. I always thought that at the end of the show, maybe the last 3 episodes of Deep Space Nine, you find out that the intendant had replaced Kira. The Kira that we thought was there wasn't there. Kira was locked up somewhere. That was the intendant, and she was causing the war and all that stuff. I thought that would have been interesting, but no one listened to me about that.
Okay, you tell us about your last day on the set. Do you remember your first day on the set, the first impression with the new cast, your very first day on the spaceship, the space station, sorry.
I do remember. I remember the first day walking, it was in Ops, and it was a scene between Avery Brooks and me, and I was upset with him being there, with everybody being there. I didn't want it to happen to my character. And I remember that the director just said, what do you want to do? I'm so not used to that as an actor. On a TV show, usually they say, okay, you're going to walk here, and then by the 3rd line, you're going to be here, and then you're going to end up there, okay? And that's exactly what you do, and you make it work. He said, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? I was like, oh my God, this is like theater. I can actually use it. Well, this tiny little scene took all day because of that. And I think the crew was like, oh my God, this is going to be the nightmare show of all times. And in a way it was. We had 16-hour days. That was the minimum. I don't think anyone ever worked harder than our show. We had lots of special effects, but also there was a political reason. If they said, if we did the day, if we made the day in 12 hours, Paramount would have said, oh, you can do it in 12 hours. Well, then you're going to do it in 12 hours. So even when it wasn't a 16-hour day, they dragged it out to 16 hours so they could maintain that, so that they could have that time available and paid for so that the quality could be what it was. And, you know, at the time, we were all, well, literally, one of our crew members got killed going home because he fell asleep at the wheel. And there were laws made because of our show about how long you could make a crew work. It was dangerous. I fell asleep at the wheel coming home one night. And I always thought, how can someone fall asleep at the wheel? How can that happen? You go, oh my God, I'm sleepy. You pull off. It's not like that. You pass out. You literally, you're fine, and then you're gone. You just pass right out. So the hours were long. That was the first day, and it was the first shot, and it was Avery Brooks and me, and all the people of ops, and it was incredible. Walking on to the promenade, it was like walking, it was as if Disney had done the set. The minute you opened the doors, you were in a different world. It was very easy to work for 12 hours and forget you were doing a TV show. Every detail, it was real, it was all the details were there. It was quite incredible. And my last day, well, my last 2 weeks, I cried and cried. I messed up scenes because I was crying. You know, we're very tribal actors, people in show business. We don't belong anywhere, and then we get a job, and this is my tribe, this is where I belong, this is what I do. And these are the people that I watch out for and work with and live with. Leaving my tribe, the longest time I'd ever been anywhere, 7 years. Most actors never get that opportunity to work with the same people for 7 years. And all great actors, all great personalities. So hard to leave. So hard to leave.
Volevo fare una domanda io agganciandomi all'ultimo giorno. Volevo chiederle, io ho sempre pensato una cosa, sarebbe stato un colpo di genio secondo me se Deep Space Nine, l'ultima scena di Deep Space Nine fosse stata Benny Russell, non so se vi ricordate lo scrittore impersonato da Cisco, che sfilava il foglio della macchina da scrivere, e quindi se avessimo scoperto che Deep Space Nine in realtà era semplicemente un'invenzione di questo scrittore. Visto che Enterprise è finita in un modo molto strano, ovviamente era tutta una riproduzione del conto olografico, volevo chiedere a Nana cosa pensa, se le sarebbe piaciuto finire così oppure no. Ok, adesso.
Wonderful. It gave me chills, so I sing in my body. That's right. That would have been wonderful. That would have been wonderful. the thing that was wonderful about our last day was being in the set, in the casino, and everybody, all the writers, all the people who worked on the show, they were all dressed up as the extras. And they were all there, so all the faces we looked out on, they were all our family. And when they said good night, at the end of a shoot, at the end of a day, when you're released, it's a very specific thing. They say, and that's good night to Nana, you know, and you know, and everybody else knows, you're going home. That's it for you for the day. And the AD always says this. And when the AD said, and that's good night and goodbye to Nana, and that's good night and goodbye to Buster, I was done. I thought I was done crying until that happened. And it was just, it was saying goodbye to a family, truly a family, a tribe, but also a very complex, complicated family of mythological creatures. They were all big characters. We were all big characters on that show.
Do you think that it could have been possible to finish Deepcon, like I said, or was it maybe too, you know, too dangerous to outstretch for Paramount?
I don't think it was dangerous. If they had intended to go on with movies or something like that, maybe it would have been tricky. But even then, you know, they have a way around everything. Look, I got pregnant through a shuttlecraft accident. You know, nothing seemed to be a problem. They never intended to do the film, so I don't see why we couldn't have done it. I think it would have been poetic, beautiful. We did fight about whether Kira and